Now we'll discuss something about fire and fire extinguishers. First of all, we'll discuss the necessary conditions for combustion or causing fire. Necessary conditions for combustion. The first requirement is there should be a substance which can burn, that is presence of combustible substance. Then presence of support of combustion is required. And supporter of combustion is oxygen or air. Substances burn in its presence. And another important thing is attainment of ignition temperature. Attainment of ignition temperature. You must have observed when we burn a log of wood, it takes some time to burn. Initially, it takes some amount of heat energy, then it starts burning. That is because every substance burns only when it has attained certain minimum temperature, that is ignition temperature. So ignition temperature is the minimum temperature at which a particular substance burns. Ignition temperature is also known as kindling temperature. Now we know that by using, now if one has to extinguish a burning substance or one has to put off a fire, the following conditions are required. A substance which is burning, if that substance is removed, then fire would extinguish. It is removal of combustible substance. If oxygen supply cuts off, fire would extinguish. If a substance is cooled down below its ignition temperature, then fire would get extinguished. Now to extinguish a fire, a device is required that is simply called fire extinguisher. Different types of fire extinguishers are used as per the type of fire types. The first is water. We have quite commonly observed whenever there is a substance or place under fire, the first thing which comes to our mind is to take water and put it on fire. It would quickly extinguish the fire. So the principle behind the working of water on fire to extinguish it is water cut off oxygen supply. So the substance under fire does not get oxygen and it extinguishes. Also, when we put water on some burning substance, the temperature of that substance goes down below its ignition temperature. As we know, a certain minimum temperature is required for a substance for burning. So that substance is not burning anymore. The fire has been extinguished. It is to cool down substance below ignition temperature. Now there are some limitations with water to use it as fire extinguisher. They are: it is commonly advised that if there is fire in the electrical appliances, we should not use water to extinguish it. Now that is true, because it may cause great electric shock and that person can die. So water can't be used to extinguish electrical fire. Also, when some oil well or petrol pump is under fire, then also water is not used to extinguish fire, because as we know, oil is lighter than water. Water vapor are heavier than oil. So oil vapor comes above the surface of water vapor, and as they get oxygen supply for combustion, so oil continues burning. That's why water cannot be used to extinguish oil under fire. The next type of fire extinguisher is foam type fire extinguisher. The principle behind its working is it cuts off supply of air to the burning substance. Now if we talk about its structure, it is a metallic cylinder which contains saturated solution of sodium carbonate. A glass bottle containing aluminum sulfate is present inside the metallic cylinder. Also, a substance called saponin is added to the sodium bicarbonate solution to produce foam. Working of this fire extinguisher, it's quite simple. When the knob of this foam type fire extinguisher is pressed, the glass bottle containing aluminum sulfate solution breaks and comes in contact with the sodium bicarbonate solution, and following reaction takes place. Aluminum sulfate reacts with sodium bicarbonate, and in the form of products: aluminum hydroxide, carbon dioxide, and sodium sulfate, they are formed. Now due to presence of saponin, a stable form of CO2 is formed. The CO2 form comes out of the fire extinguisher with the great pressure, covers the entire burning surface of oil, as it cuts off oxygen supply, hence fire is extinguished. Next type of fire extinguisher is carbon tetrachloride fire extinguisher. Principle behind working of this fire extinguisher: it also cuts off supply of air to the burning substance. As air is not available to the burning substance, it extinguishes. Now if we talk about its working, CCl4, carbon tetrachloride, is pumped out from the extinguisher. As it comes in contact with burning material, it vaporizes. Since its vapors are heavier than air, they settle down on the burning material, cut off oxygen supply, and fire gets extinguished. Now where this fire extinguisher is used, it is generally used to extinguish fire caused by electricity. The next fire extinguisher is soda acid fire extinguisher. The principle behind its working: it cools burning substance below its ignition temperature. And cut off supply of air, so fire is extinguished. Now about the structure of this fire extinguisher. It is also a metallic cylinder. Metallic cylinder contains saturated solution of sodium bicarbonate. A glass bottle containing concentrated H2SO4 is kept inside the metallic cylinder. Now when we strike the knob of this extinguisher against a hard surface, the glass bottle breaks and acid comes in contact with the solution of sodium bicarbonate, and following reaction takes place. NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate, reacts with sulfuric acid. sodium sulfate is formed along with water and carbon dioxide. Now, how fire is extinguished? If we talk about its working, the released CO2 gas formed inside the metallic cylinder exerts pressure and force, so water solution comes out through nozzle. The mixture of the liquid and CO2 extinguishes the fire. Here water helps in lowering the temperature of combustible substance below its ignition temperature, and CO2 helps by covering the burning substance. It cuts off air supply and fire extinguished. So all these were the different types of fire extinguishers which are used in different types of fires.